Check all badges before allowing access. Yes, even the generals. I don't care how angry they get. These are direct orders from the secretary. Absolutely no phones or recording devices. However, materials, clipboards, notebooks are to be checked on exit from the labs. Confiscate any with confidential information on it. Error archives, all that good stuff.
Project log. Dr. Victor Isa. We turned on the prototype today. The gravitational field around it began to fold as we long suspected. Complete reversal of gravitational pull was observed on dozens of loose objects around the lab. I'm setting up a meeting with the directors to propose a larger test. The prototype proves we don't need the original anymore, but further work is going to have to take place in space. Somewhere with abundant helium-3 and with a civilian partner. Someone with access to large-scale manufacturing resources and computational equipment. Engineering gravitational folds pulling the far side of the solar system closer to us, it's all going to be possible.
Project log. Dr. Judith Tatian. I watched the gravjet tests from the moon today. It was the first time we were able to talk to the team at Nova Galactic directly. So many things were under wraps before, but now everyone wants all the publicity they can get. I'm already seeing proposals for manufacturing androids of drives, expeditions to Alpha Centauri and beyond. It's also overwhelming and worrying. It could take years, decades, before we know what all the side effects of operating a grav drive can be. But no one wants to hear that right now. Like a bunch of pioneers racing towards the edges of the frontier without knowing about the grizzly bears in the mountains.
And how would I get in there? She's in there somehow. Prototype drive. Please be careful. Whenever running power through the prototype, secure all loose objects and have researchers empty pockets and remove jewelries, watches, etc. Reminder that the core of the drive contains a specimen that is irreplaceable and all data is under the strict clearance. Exercise all cautions with all research materials and ensure information does not leave this lab.
I never actually got to visit your labs back when we were working on the grav drive projects.
Seems like ancient history now. Only thing we're doing these days is launching weather satellites.
Guess this is as good a retirement as any. Now, Project Demeter, you want our help manufacturing scanners to better track these new meteorological patterns we're seeing.
Our guess is that the poles might be naturally shifting, causing some gravitational fluctuations that are throwing off our old models.
Why do you need the scanning tolerances to be so small? What are you trying to find?
I just want to be sure. It's not like we're doing much these days anyway. The glory days are over. Why not give ourselves a challenge before they write us off in the history books?
To Judith, Victor, and Lan. As requested, the astrophysics research team has done a full analysis of the data you provided us. The measurements of the Earth magnetosphere show clear signs of punctuation, often correlation of the periods of frequent and large gravity wave spikes emanating from the moon. These gravity waves seem to be affecting the magnetic shield provided by the Earth's inner core and may be affecting the core itself, given the proximity to the source. The data indicates that the change rate is increasing exponentially. As our magnetosphere falters, its ability to protect us from the sun's solar wind falters beyond the devastating effect of solar radiation. This will lead to something more dire, the sputtering or stripping away of our atmosphere. This has happened before to Mars, a planet studied since the earliest days of space to see into Earth's possible future. We are afraid that this future may be closer than we ever thought imaginable. Some may view this data as normal. There have been historical fluctuations and polarities or changes of Earth's core, but this is orders of magnitude degree. We see echoes of previous generation debates over global warming, and we want the signs here to be clear. Like waves in the ocean, these gravity waves rise and eventually crash into shore, the Earth, the devastating consequence.
I know what I'm seeing, Victor. The data coming back from the satellites is very clear. It's the grav drives.
All those jumps from the moon. At this rate, Earth's atmosphere is going to start sputtering out into space.
Can the drives be fixed?
I'm working on some designs that should discreetly solve the problem, under the guise of an emergency update to the fueling pumps.
We're talking about the end of Earth, and you're trying to be subtle about it.
Judith, the last thing we need is people losing faith in grav drive technology. That might be our only option.
To what? Are you seriously saying we should abandon Earth?
The timeline is under 50 years. A blink of an eye for a planet, but more than enough time for a human exodus.
And what do we tell people?
We say it's an act of God, one that science has found a solution for. Time for humanity to take its place in the stars.
You knew, didn't you? You lied to me. All this time, I dedicated my life to this discovery, Victor. And you knew we were going to kill off our planet?
You haven't seen the future I've seen. There's an infinite expanse of promise out there. A meteor could have hit Earth, a plague, another world war. Colonizing other galaxies secures humanity's future for all coming generations, across all time.
At the expense of our home.
Stop it, both of you! All that matters is building enough ships to get everyone off this planet. And we need to start now.
I'll draft up a statement. We'll need to address the entire international community. I'm sorry, Judith.
There isn't a planet in this universe that will be far enough away from you, Victor. We are never speaking again after this is over.
My name is Dr. Victor Isa. And if you're listening to this, then you probably already know the truth. I was young when I first headed the retrieval team of an odd gravitational anomaly on Mars. But I kept what really happened that day hidden from everyone except one other person. Even she didn't believe me at first. But I have no reason to lie to anyone now, so I hope you'll accept this confession, whoever you are. When I touched the anomaly, I experienced 12 days of lost time. I met myself. He told me everything that has since come true. The grav drive equations, the tests on the moon, Earth's atmosphere sputtering away because of what we had done. But he also told me about a city thriving on a planet orbiting a distant star. Human culture, art, music, lifestyles evolving and shining brightly across all of space. What price would I be willing to pay for that future? Maybe you don't believe me. Maybe Judith was right and I'm just a coward who wants to believe his mistakes were justified. But everyone has forgotten about the real origins of the grav drive, this artifact from Mars. I hope you make better use of it than I did.
Oh my God. The grav drives destroyed Earth. And at the core of the first drive, an artifact.
Almost fell there. How would I get it there?
Constellation, we've arrived on the surface of Earth. We need to discuss what you found.
And it looks like other Starborn got here before us. So, you might have company.
Let them come. I'm ready.
The hunt continues. Infinity closes on you.
got? Found you. Bring it on!
Oh, but it's not the way. Come on, Sarah. Get on, Sarah.
you understand now why I asked you to come here. The artifacts unlocked the secret of interstellar travel. At the cost of Earth.
An easy trade, honestly. Why have one world when you can have all the settled systems?
Every grav drive in the settled systems was built on technology that came from an artifact that was discovered on Mars. But these early drives shook the gravity field surrounding Earth. Eventually, the atmosphere started to slowly sputter away into space. That is why Earth is uninhabitable. The artifact gave the scientists a greater understanding of time and space, but not the wisdom to see where that would lead.
The settled systems wouldn't exist without the artifacts, in other words. We owe what happened here in NASA a great debt.
I'm gonna agree with him because I'm pretty sure us humans are gonna end up destroying this world sometime in the future anyways.
Don't you see? The power of the artifact forced humanity to the stars. They didn't get to make a choice. How many would have chosen Earth? What gave Victor Isa the right to choose for them?
You see the hypocrisy in what the emissary is saying, right? They don't want to rob people of their free will, but then they steal the artifacts for themselves.
In the wrong hands, the power of the artifacts can make anyone a tyrant. That is why we watch over them. The only thing you're watching out for is yourself.
The embassy's right. The artifacts needs to be in the right hands.
Join me, old friend. We can collect the final pieces together.
Old friend.
Oh, no, you don't. You're not his old friend, remember? You're from another universe. Don't try to manipulate him. Okay. I couldn't win you over on philosophy. How about pragmatism? I'm more powerful than the emissary. Than any other Starborn. And you might not understand why, but I want you to succeed. You've never gotten this far before. I need to see what happens to you.
That's a better option. But I'm gonna go with the embassy. I'm siding with the emissary here.
Thank you.
Well, can't say I didn't try. We'll settle this at the usual place.
The buried temple. We'll be there.
You're lucky I'm a man of my word. I'll see you there.
Stay for a moment. You must have questions about what happens next. We will not be able to go to the buried temple right away. There are still other artifacts out there in the settled systems that haven't been gathered. You will need to work with your colleagues in Constellation to find them.
Can we go to the buried temple right away?
All
Or
of
he
the
just
other
said it?
artifacts need to be gathered before the final one will reveal itself. I will be bringing mine. The Hunter will be bringing his. And you will need to bring the rest. All of the ones Constellation can find.
Will you be coming with me though?
I will meet you in orbit above the buried temple. We'll face what's there together.